Hi, I'm Elias, founder of Nova, and I'm a cybersecurity and automation consultant. Now, the question is, are you ever unsure if an email is a scam? Now, because phishing attacks are getting smart these days, it becomes difficult to know whether if an email is coming from a legitimate sender or not. So, I built an AI-powered phishing analyzer that can help solve that problem. So, this is how it works. So let's say you get an email that feels a little bit off. Now, instead of guessing, you just forward it to a special email address. Now, the moment you hit send, this n8n workflow I built in the background kicks in. And what it does is it automatically finds the original sender and message and feeds it to the AI node that I've trained to spot the classic tricks like suspicious links, that fake sense of urgency, and weird email address. After the analysis is done, it sends a report to your original email, a simple and a clear report, letting you know whether if the email is safe, is suspicious, or is malicious. So without wasting my time, let's go into the demo. So I'm going to execute this workflow and then go into my inbox, forward this message to the special email address. Okay. Now, the moment the email hits the inbox, it's going to trigger this workflow to forward the email to the AI node for analysis. After the analysis, a full report is sent to my main email for me to know what to do next. So the email has hit my analysis inbox. So now you are waiting for the flow to send the email to the AI node. Okay, it sends it to the AI node. An analysis is then done. After the analysis is done, a report is sent to me in my email. Good. So let's go to my inbox. Okay, so I've gotten the report. So based on analysis, the extracted information, the original sender's email address, the full subject, you know, and then analysis and the verdict. So here it says the sender email domain is not the standard Twilio domain, raising moderate suspicion. The use of send-grade tracking links is common in marketing emails but can be abused in phishing. So this is saying this is suspicious. Suspicious doesn't mean it's bad. You just have to be careful. In a complex workflow, the DKIM and then the SPF can then be implemented to actually check these things for the domains that were detected in the email. This thing can actually be done in a corporate setting, but with this simple workflow, it works very fine. So in a short moment, we'll look at how to design such a system. But before that, we need to understand the workflow. So in the workflow, we need three nodes. That's the email trigger node that forwards the email to the OpenAI node for analysis, and then it forwards the report after the analysis to a send email node that then forward the report to our original email. So the logic behind the whole thing is that let's say you receive an email from someone you know or you don't know, and the email looks sketchy or it looks fishy. You as a receiver, what do? You forward the email to our analyzer, which is a workflow that we are building on the top. And then after the analysis is done, the report is sent back to you as a receiver. This is a simple workflow. Okay, so let's go to the n8n dashboard and see how to build this. So on the n8n canvas, we have the plus that we use to actually pick the tools that we need to or add the tools that we need in our workflow. So first we click on the plus and we need a trigger. So the trigger we need here is the IMAP trigger. So this IMAP trigger needs certain parameters to be configured. Now IMAP basically is a protocol that helps us to retrieve emails in our inbox. So we need to configure the parameters. And the first parameter here is the credential. So we need to connect the credentials of our Gmail to our n8n IMAP node. So I've already done that, which you can see from here. But for the first start, if you are doing this, you click here and then go to create new credentials. It gives you this dialog box, and then you need to fill in the details. Now the details that you need to fill here, the user here becomes the email you are picking from here, or your analyzer email, where you'll be forwarding the main email to. And the next thing is the password, the host name, and the port. These things are default. So in order for you to get these things done, first you need to come to your email and then click on settings. And at settings, you go to all settings, and then from here you need to enable the POP or IMAP protocol. So you click on forward, and then here you click on enable POP for all mail. Now I've already enabled mine, that's why it seems to be green. Okay, now when you're done, you click on save. Then you click on your profile picture or your icon, and then go to manage your Gmail or Google account. Now when that page opens, you click on set security. Now that security, there are two things that you need to do here. So first you need to enable your two-step verification, or else Google would allow you to connect an external app. So you need to enable that. And then secondly, you need to generate an app password. Now this app password is what the external app is going to use to connect to your Gmail. I've created mine already. All you have to do is just put a name here, and then you can click on create app password, which I've already done. So when you come to your n8n IMAP configuration, what you do here is that you put your email here, your password, and the host name. So like what I've done here. So here you can see my email, and then the app password is a 16-digit code or password. Then this is the host. imap.gmail.com is the host. The port is 993, and you leave the SSL on like that. Now if you configure everything correctly, you are supposed to see this, which shows connection successful. Now let's go back to make a few more settings. So over here we need to change this to inbox. Okay, the reason why we are changing this to inbox is that we want to retrieve or have access to the email in the inbox, and the spellings of inbox is like this, not the capital letters. Okay, if you leave it in capital letters, it won't work. So the action, okay, the action you want to perform here is that we want to mark the email as read. So we leave this and then we execute the step. So let's see whether if what we've done is correct. So let's go to our email. Let me delete this test. So I'm going to forward a random email to our special email for the analysis. So let me forward this, and then I put the email address here, and let me forward. So the moment I forward this, and then the email hits the inbox, and it's being received by the IMAP, which you are going to get an output, and we continue with the process. So we wait. Okay, it looks like we didn't send the email. So let's wait. Okay, so it has come. Sorry. So I received the email in the inbox. Now let's wait for the output to show within the n8n node. So the moment it gets it, it will be populated in the output. Very good. So it was able to receive it. So you can see we have the output displayed over here. It's a good thing. Now the next thing for us to do is pin this output so that we'll use it to test the flow as we move on. If we don't pin it, we have to always send a test to this account all the time in order for us to get the output. So we just pin it. Okay, now the next thing we are going to do here is to add the OpenAI node. Sorry. We add the OpenAI node, and then which action do we want to perform? We want to use the message model. Very good. Now over here, the resource is text, and then the message or the operation here is a message model. So which model we are using? Let's use the 4.1 mini, and then the row we make it assistant. Now here is a prompt, so we make it an expression. You can leave it the way it is, and then just copy the prompt. I already have the prompt. So the prompt says you are expert cybersecurity analyst specializing in phishing detection. Your tone is helpful, clear, and direct. Do not be conversational. So it follows this kind of prompts or instruction. It follows this instruction to then analyze the email for us. So let me paste this over here. Now, this thing you are seeing over here is a variable or is a value. It picks the value from here. So what we are doing here is that we are basically telling ChatGPT or the AI know that, hey, I want you to analyze um, the body of the forwarded email for me. So we need to drag the variable holding the body uh, of the email, okay, into this field. Now you can see that from here, the instruction says that the following text is the body of a forwarded email. Your first task is to pass this text to clarify to identify the original sender, subject, and body of the suspicious message. The original details are usually found after a line like this. So what this is trying to say is that normally whenever you are forwarding an email, so you are forwarding an email like this, you see that it picks the original detail from here. So you extract the original detail from here and not the email that has been sent, but the original details is extracted from this side. So that's the reason why I have to extract it to um, do that. Okay. Now the next thing you have to do here is to test this and see the output that ChatGPT will give us. So we wait. Very good. So now we have the output. Okay, so let's pin this as well. Okay, and let's save so now we don't lose the workflow. Now the next thing we add here is a send email node. Okay, so in a send email node, the action we want to perform is send an email. Okay, now from here, you want to send an email. We also need to configure the parameters for the SMTP credentials. So what we do here is that we use the previous details, the same thing, the email address, and then the app password we created. The only thing that will change here is the host, which is smtp.gmail.com, and the port 465. These things are there by default, okay? And when you configure this correctly, you get this successful connection tested, you know. Now, the next thing I want to do here is this is the trickiest part. So we are saying that if you look back at our diagram, we see that when someone sends an email, you the receiver, you receive the email, you forward it to the analyzer, okay, then after the analysis, it's then sent back to you, the original receiver, okay. So here we need to configure these parameters correctly. So we expand the email trigger node, and then we are saying that when the email comes from, okay, this person, and when it comes from the receiver, okay, when it comes from the receiver, okay, an analysis is done, the report should be sent back to the same person, like what we have here. So it comes from this person, it goes to analyzer, report needs to be sent back. So that's the reason why I'm configuring these parameters like this. Okay, and then over here you have the subject. Okay, so the subject can be analysis of your email, sorry, analysis of your forwarded email. Okay, and then you can decide to put the subject of the email over here. Okay, so analysis of the forwarded email with the subject of the email that has been forwarded. Okay, now here, email format. We want to receive the email as text. So what we do is that we just drag the content. So this the analysis or the output or the analysis made by the AI model. So we drag this and put it here. Okay, and then we send. So when I test, let's go to my primary email inbox. Let's see. So very good. You can see we have one email here. So when you open it, it's saying this is malicious. Okay, based on certain reasons. So let's look at the reason, the verdict here. It says what the sender email domain. This doesn't match the brand name ASDG, indicating a high chance of spoofing or use of third-party bulk sender service with a suspicious domain. So that's a very good analysis that it has made. Okay, so that's our workflow and we are done. Now, what we are going to do next is we are going to unpin all this. Okay, and then we see the workflow. So what we'll do now is we are going to test the workflow without interaction. It means that you can leave it running and it will run in the background all the time. You know, anytime an email comes and you forward it to a special email inbox, automatically this workflow runs. So we need to activate it. So we activate it and then we click on executions so that you can see what happens. So anytime you execute, this we see the process over here. So what we do here is that now we'll go to our email for demo and then let me delete this and then let me also delete this. Okay, so now we see what happens. So let me pick one Twilio email, very good, this Twilio email, and then let's forward it. Let's forward for analysis. We forward. Okay, so the moment we forward it, and let's see what happens. So over here, we will see the execution. Very good. You have received the email. So you should see the execution starting from here. Okay, so the execution has started running. And then when it's done, we should see the report in our inbox. Okay, so it's done. Very good. So you have received one email. So let's see what it's saying about this email. Okay, so very good. So it said the original sender is this email, the subject is this, and it shows us what the analysis of phishing red flags. So agency, okay, but it says what the final version says the email is safe. The reason why it's safe is the sender's domain is official and consistent with Twilio. The message uses typical marketing language and mailed agency, but not threats or coercion. And then it has for advanced users. So normally the SPF and DKIM can then be checked. So this workflow can then be made. You can make this workflow to be more complex, whereby you can add certain nodes to check the SPF and DKIM of these emails, the domains over here, and based on that, the AI can also use it to analyze whether if the email is legit or not. Okay, thank you for watching. Like and subscribe to my channel for more content.